Hello, everyone. It is Teacher Danielle with Outschool, and I am making a video. It's been 2 weeks since my last video. I'm making my video about my fall courses and classes. I wanted that to be my next one. I wanted to give it a couple weeks to see how they were going first before I made a video. So usually my goal is to have one video per week. So I did skip a week on that. But I am happy to report that fall classes are going well. I actually added 21 new classes and courses. So I have been super busy lately creating curriculum and content to go with that curriculum for my students. With the fall and this year being so new with the e-learning, the Outschool community was really thinking that there would be a lot more students taking courses based on what parents were saying. So I wanted to really get a lot of new courses and classes out there for the fall. So I was really pushing it hard to get that going. And I tripled the classes that I offer. So that's pretty amazing. I'm pretty excited about that. And I'm happy to say they are going really well. And I design my fall courses and classes. I usually say if it's a one-time class, I call it a class. If it's an ongoing course, I call it a course. So that's why I use both terms. And sometimes interchangeably, maybe when I shouldn't. So yeah, so what I basically did was I created 21 new classes and courses. Some are one-time, they're classes, and some are ongoing, they're courses. Before, I had only really done 4 weeks long for an ongoing course, but this, for the fall, for this semester, I offered a couple classes that are 8 weeks long, and then I offer a couple that are 16 weeks long, so they'll go all the way through winter. And the majority of the classes and courses I created are reading and math because that's really the majority of what I teach. And I also threw in a couple life skills classes. I threw in a couple preschool circle time courses that meet once a week. They're ongoing. And then I threw in a gamer club, a Roblox gamer club, because Roblox is very popular. And then the rest were all math and reading. And so quite a few of these new courses and classes were new material, like the Roblox. I created some new math classes. They weren't similar to anything that I had taught before, but the majority of them were tied into previous courses and classes that I had taught. So for instance, my Reading with Dr. Seuss was really popular. I taught that one almost primarily for my first 3 weeks and into my 4th week with Outschool. And now the interest has died down just because I had like almost 250 students who took it. So now I only offer it once a week and it fills up, and that works really well for my students and for me. But I branched off of that and I created some ongoing courses that focus on valve digraphs, on blends, beginning and ending blends. And I did this because I had a lot of students that were continuing to take the Reading with Dr. Seuss multiple times just because they really enjoyed the class and they really enjoyed me as a teacher, which I thought was like a great compliment. And so I created these courses as an extension to that. So the students who took it could build upon that. And so what was really nice about that is I did not have to create a whole new, from scratch curriculum. I took a Google Slide template that I have and I just edited it to fit the new curriculum that I was teaching. So the great thing about that is I already have the basic components set up. I do a lot of like zoom in, zoom out with my slides, a lot of activities and interactive slides. So to create all of that for every single new course and class that I offered would be really time intensive. So it was really nice that I could take what I was already using, that Google Slide template, and then just edit it to fit the curriculum that I was offering, which going from 10 to 31 courses, that was really, really important for me to do. is also really important for my students because the ones who are repeat students, they're familiar with the setup. They're familiar with how the activities work. They're familiar with how the games work. So they already have that knowledge that they've learned. So I don't have to spend as much time reteaching this in the new classes, and there can be more time devoted to the actual content and the benchmarks that I'm trying to reach with them. So that was a really big part of why I took this huge tackled this huge thing of expanding my curriculum so much, as I knew I had that base knowledge. And I get a lot of repeat learners. A lot of students have taken my other classes, and it's really fun for them because they know exactly how it works. It's still engaging. They still enjoy it. It's new content, but I don't have to reteach a lot of it. And I can use those students who have already had that and call on them first for these activities, and then the students who haven't taken my courses before see how it works and learn from them. And so I really don't spend too much time teaching how to do the activities and how to do it, because it's already in place there. That knowledge is there. So I highly recommend, if you are new to Outschool, or even if you're not new and you're trying to really beef up your curriculum, to kind of take that approach. It worked really well for me and really well for my students. So that's been a really nice bonus. So I teach a total of 31 courses now. I teach about 23 a week. Within that, I incorporate individual tutoring as well. So before, my classes were only 30 minutes, where I now have some that are 45 minutes and some that are an hour. So I teach about 13 to 13 and a half hours of actual class time. And of course, there's other time outside of class where I'm grading, looking at assignments, sending feedback to parents, that kind of thing. So, and just communicating with parents. So I highly recommend, I will run this through winter. I will just reteach some of the courses that I have. Once the ongoing courses run out, then I'll start a new section of it. Also, for my one-time classes, I basically set it up so that I teach them once a month. And then the new month, I just started over again. For students who weren't able to take it then, I plan it in advance so that they know with plenty of notice that they can take it the next month if they're not able to. And then the final thing I wanted to say is I also added some new math classes. And I took the same kind of approach for those as I did for my reading classes. And I used content from my 4-week ongoing classes and just pulled information from that. In my math classes, I have games with the last 2 weeks that are review for what we learn. And I just took those review games and created that as its own class, a one-time class. So the more that you can intertwine your classes and pull from those, so you're not creating new curriculum and content to go with that curriculum, Google Slides, handouts, whatever it is that you're using, the easier it will be for you and your students. So not as labor intensive, still a lot of time outside of class doing that, but much easier and less talk time for me in class and a lot more talk time for my students, which is really, really important. All of my courses are a good balance of teacher to student talk time, even with my younger learners, interaction, engagement, games, movement, all of those things come together. So I hope this was helpful for you. If you are currently an Outschool teacher, I hope this gave you some kind of information about what you could do to beef up and ways to work smarter, not harder, right? Because that's very important. Teacher burnout is definitely a thing, even when you're online. And even more so because you're learning a new method, right? And then it's really great for your students because they feel comfortable, they know you, they know how your class is going to operate, and they already come to that class with confidence that they can do this because they know they've done it before, even though they're learning new skills and new content. So yeah, if you are not an Outschool teacher and you're interested, as always, I leave the Link to apply in the video description. And if you are a parent who's interested in enrolling your student or learner, I also leave a link for that, because if you use that link, you get a $20 credit towards your first class or course. Now, most are not going to be $20, but if you are taking a class that is like a camp style and it's for 4 or 5 days, quite possibly it's going to be $20. So you can get that class for free or for a very discounted rate. So thank you for watching, and thank you so much, and I hope you have a good day. Once again, this is Teacher Danielle with Outschool.